Ready to save some money. Today we're diving into some seriously smart ways to rethink your procurement strategy. We're checking out this article. It's called Exploring Cost-Reduction Procurement Strategies. It was published back in December 2023 by the Procure4 marketing team. They make a really interesting point about how going green can actually save you some green.
Yeah, a lot of businesses think cost reduction is just about cutting corners, but it's really about making every dollar count, maximizing value.
So it's not just about getting the lowest possible price from your suppliers.
Exactly. Think about it like if you use the absolute cheapest ingredients you can find, what's that going to do to the quality of your product in the long run? It could really hurt your brand's reputation. It's about finding that balance, minimizing costs without compromising the quality that keeps your customers happy.
Makes sense. It's about the long game, not just quick wins. So, where do we start? The article mentions bulk buying. Is it really that simple?
Well, it can be a really effective strategy if you're smart about it. Think about getting a discount on raw materials just because you're ordering in bulk. Not only does it lower your cost per unit, but it could give you more leverage when you're negotiating prices later on.
That's a good point about bigger orders leading to better deals. But what about storage space? I mean, not every business has a warehouse to store tons of extra inventory.
Right, you have to be strategic about it. Bulk buying only makes sense if you actually have the space and the demand to use what you're buying.
So, strategic stockpiling, not just like hoarding stuff in the back room.
Exactly. And that brings us to another really important part of strategic procurement, negotiation.
All right, let's talk about negotiation tactics then. I'm always up for learning how to get a better deal.
The key is to be prepared. Before you even start negotiating, do your research. Understand what the market price is and what the supplier needs. What can you offer them? Think of it as a collaboration, not a battle.
So instead of just demanding the lowest price, I should try to find a solution that works for both of us.
Exactly. Maybe you offer a longer contract to give them some stability, or you commit to a larger order volume. These can be really effective bargaining chips, and they benefit both parties.
I've always just focused on the immediate price, but I see what you mean about thinking bigger picture.
You got it. And that strategic approach extends to streamlining your procurement processes too. Making things more efficient can save you a lot of money.
So like improving how we order stuff and manage those purchases.
Exactly. Think about all the steps involved: purchase orders, invoices, approvals. Automating these tasks can make a huge difference for your business.
Kind of like when I finally switched to online banking. Saved me so much time. I wasn't running to the bank every week.
That's a great analogy. Using technology in procurement, especially e-procurement solutions, can be a game changer. Imagine purchase orders being generated automatically, invoices processed seamlessly, and approvals streamlined for maximum efficiency.
Okay, anything that makes my life easier and saves money, I'm on board. Speaking of technology, the article mentioned data analytics. I'll be honest, that one sounds a little intimidating.
It can sound complex, but data analytics can be incredibly powerful, even if you're not a tech expert.
So how can someone use data analytics effectively, even in a business that's not super techy?
Imagine your data shows that you're paying way too much for shipping because you haven't optimized your packaging size. That's the kind of hidden cost that data analytics can uncover. Or think about analyzing how much of each ingredient you're using so you can better predict future needs. That way you can avoid both stockouts and overordering.
That's wild. It's like having a crystal ball that shows you exactly where you can save.
And that's just the beginning. Data analytics is a game changer, but there's another big piece of the puzzle: your suppliers.
Okay, tell me more. How can we move beyond just basic transactions with our suppliers to something more strategic?
One of the most exciting things happening in procurement is this shift from a transactional to a transformational relationship with suppliers. Instead of that old us versus them mentality, what if we thought of suppliers as partners?
So, working together towards a common goal.
Exactly. That means open communication, sharing information, and even brainstorming ways to save money together.
Can you give me an example of what that collaboration might look like in real life?
Sure, imagine you're a business owner and you find out your supplier is testing a new delivery route that could save both of you a lot of money on transportation. By talking to each other and sharing information, you both win.
That's amazing. I never thought of it that way, turning a simple business deal into a real partnership.
Those kinds of partnerships can lead to even bigger savings and cool new ideas down the line. For example, a supplier might be more willing to invest in new technology or systems that benefit both of you if they know you're in it for the long haul. They'll be more likely to go the extra mile if they know you're invested in their success, too.
So stability leads to innovation and cost savings. This is making me rethink how I deal with my own suppliers.
Exactly. It's about creating a win-win situation for everyone. And speaking of win-win, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked in these cost-cutting conversations: sustainability.
Okay, I'm all ears. How does being green save green?
It's a connection that surprises a lot of people. Like, think about investing in energy-efficient equipment. It might seem more expensive up front, but over time, you'll save a ton on your energy bills.
And you're helping the planet too. It's a win-win for sure.
Absolutely. Or think about packaging. If you work with your suppliers to use less packaging, you're not only reducing waste, but you're also cutting down on shipping costs because you're moving less stuff around.
It's like a chain reaction. One sustainable choice leads to another, and suddenly you're saving money in ways you never even imagined. I'm starting to see how all these procurement strategies we've been talking about, bulk buying, technology, supplier relationships, can work together to create a much more efficient and cost-effective operation.
It's like putting together a puzzle. Each piece is important, but it's the whole picture that really makes the impact. But even with the best strategies in place, there are still challenges you have to watch out for. One of the biggest ones is,
You're right, we've talked a lot about getting the best price, but how do we make sure we're not getting ripped off on quality?
that's so important. It's easy to get caught up in a bargain. But remember, skimping on quality can cost you more later.
So how do we find that balance where we're saving money, but not ending up with, office chairs that break in a year?
That's where total cost of ownership comes in.
We've mentioned that before. Can you explain what that really means, though, practically speaking?
Sure. Let's say you're looking at two different suppliers for packaging materials. One's cheaper upfront, but their deliveries are always late, which could delay your whole production process. The other one might be a little pricier, but they're always on time, never miss a beat.
So the cheaper one might actually end up costing more because of those delays.
Exactly. Total cost of ownership means you're not just looking at the sticker price. You have to factor in things like maintenance, repairs, potential downtime, even the cost of replacing something if it just doesn't hold up.
It's about thinking long term, not just that initial purchase.
Right. And that long-term thinking should include ethical considerations too. You want to make sure your cost-cutting measures align with, responsible sourcing and sustainability.
That's a really good point. So things like fair labor practices and eco-friendly materials.
Exactly. Finding suppliers who share your values, who are committed to ethical and sustainable practices, even if it costs a bit more upfront.
It's good to know that doing the right thing can be good for business, too. We've covered a lot today, from the power of bulk buying to how sustainability can actually save you money. If you had to pick one key takeaway, what would it be?
I think the most important thing to remember is that cost reduction and procurement, it's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. You're always looking for ways to improve.
So it's about adapting, being flexible, and always being on the lookout for new strategies.
Exactly. The world of procurement is always changing. New technologies, new market trends, new best practices. You have to stay informed, be open to new ideas, and don't be afraid to shake things up a bit.
This has been a really eye-opening conversation. I feel like I have a much better grasp on procurement now. And, these strategies are super valuable for businesses, but I'm wondering, can we apply them to other areas of life too?
Absolutely. Think about negotiating a better rate on your internet service. That's procurement.
Or using those bulk buying principles when you're stocking up on groceries? I'm starting to see procurement opportunities everywhere.
That's the idea. The principles we talked about today, like thinking strategically, negotiating, building those relationships, understanding value, those are skills you can use in all parts of your life.
This deep dive has really given me a lot to think about, both for work and for my personal life. Thanks for joining us and sharing your insights.
My pleasure. Remember, informed procurement means making smart, strategic choices that are good for your wallet and good for the world.
That's a great point to end on. That wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic.